So it shows that there's certain things that, as a child, that were implemented in all of us. But as you grow, you see them, you like handle them, like, okay, I don't like this feeling, I don't like this. This is, yeah, man. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I hope each and everyone out there had a lovely Sunday morning, or is having a Sunday morning. But anyway, I'm here today with the guys. And before I get into anything, I think it's actually best for the guys to actually introduce themselves, and we'll get into what we're actually talking about today. And yeah, I think we'll start with you right there by the corner.
Morning, everybody. My name is Jared Manicum. Anything else I need to tell them?
Nah, that's fine. That's fine.
Hello, Jared Manicum. I'm Kershwin.
Yes.
You Cody.
Oh yes, I'm Cody, Papa. Because for the fans out there. Cody,
good morning. I'm Luwayne, Papa.
Nice to meet you, papas. So yeah, man, welcome to Navana World FM. Welcome to Chilling with Manny. So today it's actually gonna be a dope Sunday morning, because I felt like there were certain things that we should actually discuss as guys, which guys usually don't discuss, because it's a topic where sometimes guys find it very sensitive to speak about, or to even think about.
Aren't you too old for the birds and the bees?
You know what? I'm a crab in a barrel, so it's fine. So, yeah, man. So the topic for today is growing up from different backgrounds. Yeah, I can hear that it's off. Growing up from different backgrounds, and what is it that you have recently noticed about growing up from different backgrounds? Because each and every single guy that is here, you know, when you grow up from a different background, there's certain things that you see from other people. You're like, oh, we don't do that. This doesn't look familiar. It's very uncomfortable. Let me make a silly example.
What is basmati?
Not basmati rice. You know, here's a silly example. You know, when you were younger and you'd go visit one of your friends, and it would happen that you would never want to open their fridge, even though they're like, no, go take something from the fridge. It's because of the way you actually grew up. You know to say, no, opening someone's fridge is actually wrong. Then as you grow up, you realize, oh, okay, you know what, it's coming from different backgrounds. Then there's other people who like open the fridge and be like, nah, this is normal for them, because it's the background that they actually come from. So yeah, man, I want you all to actually introduce my background. I mean, you're the background to me. You know, I want you to tell me one thing that you actually would say different background people from different backgrounds actually do differently. What would be that one thing that you actually notice? As I mean, you each and every single day that you live, that you're out here, you see people behaving in different ways, and some ways you're like, I wish I actually had this mentality to behave like this, and some are like, nah, this, you shouldn't behave like this. So would you identify any behavior like that?
I'll go first.
You can go first.
Recently, from what I've noticed or witnessed in the past few years,
Yeah,
is mannerisms.
mannerisms.
Yeah, like when I was small, I was scared to talk back to my parents.
Yeah.
I was scared. Even if I just said something under my breath, I'm gonna catch. But then these days, you see children, they have full out arguments with their parents, or a disagreement.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if they say something, you listen, even if you don't like it. So I would say mannerisms.
You'll even catch it from your neighbors.
That's true.
And
That's
then
true.
they'll still take you to your parents, and your parents will sort you out also.
That is 100% true, actually. Yeah, that is true. You'll take me back to, you remember, let's say maybe you're being naughty, but then your neighbor will actually discipline you. They'll give you like a good hiding, because they know, no, you know what, this boy is young, we're gonna discipline him. But now it would actually be weird when a neighbor disciplines a certain child. It'd be like, hey, what are you doing to my kid? But back then, you used to get it from anyone that's older than you, and it used
Even
to
the
be
pastors.
even the pastors, yeah.
Anyone that knows your parents, and they see you doing something wrong, are you catching it?
You know, I think I want to put all of y'all in a hot space right now. So, isn't we all come from different backgrounds, different groomings and stuff? So, what is that bad habit that you know your friend has? The bad habit doesn't have to be smoking. It doesn't have to be, I don't know, like, we're talking about background bad habits. What's a bad habit? Should be like,
We have one friend.
yeah.
That bra has no boundaries, no matter where he's going. Caleb. That bra, even if he just meets you today, if you invite him to your house, he's gonna make it his own house.
Yeah.
Like mean opening the fridge, going into the rooms. The same thing like you were saying, like when we were growing up, that's like a no.
Yeah.
Like we don't even walk into a house unless we invited.
100%,
We stand
yeah.
there by the door, we say, okay, can I come in? And say, yeah, you can come in. Okay, yeah, let's go inside. There's Caleb who will be like, yeah, no, they start hugging everyone. Even people who don't want to see you.
Yeah.
You go up to them and like, yeah, I was like, bro, you can't see these people don't want to talk to you, but you're still forcing yourself there. So
But
that's one of the things, yeah.
don't you feel like it's actually nice in a way? Like there's certain things that obviously as a person you shouldn't cross. But don't you feel like it's actually nice to have that mentality? It's like, this is people, man. I should mingle with everybody. But then there's certain limits, of course, that you shouldn't surpass or like certain
obviously,
things
definitely there are. I think as a people that we're living in a time where we don't trust anyone, and there's certain boundaries that we put up for ourselves for our own protection, and I do believe that there is in some points or some instances where such behavior will be actually beneficial. But most of the time, people go into their shells for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think if you can just take a few seconds just to read the room, or to see people's expressions, or see how they're feeling today, and take it from there and adjust accordingly. I think that'll be beneficial even more.
That's true. That's true. And do you think people like that, people are actually more attracted to their energy? Like, this guy,
energy.
Like, I want to be around this guy because of his behavior. Do you think it's the opposite, or people actually want to hang around with a person that behaves that's just free around people?
I think it will depend on the person themselves.
Yeah.
If they're introverted, if they're extroverted.
Yeah.
The energy that you give on to other people, if they can receive it well, they always want to be around you. But if they don't receive it, like if they're introverted, they don't like that physical contact. That loudness, that energy that you bring that's too high pitched for them. So if you don't like that high pitched energy, you're gonna go into your shell more and more and more, and you're not gonna want to come out until you meet people that's like you. And then you can eventually get out of your comfort zone with people that are like you. If you have that one bra that says, okay guys, let's try and do this today, instead of doing the same thing that we do every day.
100%. Yo, that's actually something to think about. And do you have anything that you would say, yeah, this is weird to me? No chance. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll go to my next question. So the thing is, during preparing this thing, I was asking myself like all the things that I personally would like go through and be like, I don't like this, I don't enjoy this. So it leads to my next question, which says, what belief system has a hold on you, but you know it's not healthy or true? Like there's always a belief system that you're like, I'll make a silly example, right? So my silly example is, there's this myth, people, okay, maybe it's not a myth, maybe some people it's true, but they just say, when you sleep, you must cover the mirror. When it's raining, cover the mirror, because lightning can strike the mirror and strike you. Like, those little silly belief systems that people have. Here's another example. There's this thing of walking. Certain people, I don't know why they do this. I think it's traditional healers or whatever. When they walk in their house, they walk in backwards. And like, what are you looking at?
At night.
Yeah.
At night. And they walk in the houses backwards. So they don't get evil spirits following them into the house.
Hey,
That's what they believe. I don't know about it.
So
You know, I think honestly, let me say, my brother's background, we grew up in a Christian home.
Yeah.
So many of those, let me say, wives' tales,
Yeah.
really doesn't apply to us. Like, honestly speaking, there was, I think, like for me, for myself, as the reason I'm Christian is not because my family was Christian, it was because of the evidence.
Yeah.
And I think the same logic applied to the rest of my life. It's like, if there's no evidence for it, then what's the point in believing in it?
100%. Yeah.
Like, okay, I need the ladder or a black cat walking past you.
Yeah.
None of that.
Or if someone hits you with a broom, you won't get married. Like, what? Who comes up with all these things?
If you eat out of a pot, it's gonna rain on your wedding day.
Yeah, those things. And man, you know, when you were younger, that actually scare you. Like, as a man, you don't eat from a pot. You don't do this, and you be like, who came up with these belief systems? Because as the more you grow, or the older you grow.
But those ones all seem minor, all those beliefs and things like it. Look at the newer generation.
Yeah.
What they believe in. I was watching this thing. They were talking about there's 100 different genders that you can identify as. There's even one they were talking about spirits. You can be bi-spiritual or something, like your spirit is into
what?
Shit. Yeah.
So this guy gave an example of so that means I can be a bi-spiritual penguin. Like, where do people even come up with this stuff? Like,
I would say it's what we're exposed to from a very young age. You know, silly examples, man. It's basically
superstitions.
Yeah, superstitions. You know, even when you grow, there's certain things that you learn yourself. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna say this. Here's another silly example. So, you know, we all have young ones around us and stuff, like little kids. I've learned that the main reason why maybe some kids will swear at their parents is because their parents actually swear at them when they do something silly. Yeah, you little mouse, you know. You know. Yeah. So I realized, no, when a kid maybe puts you into stress, you just there's certain words you can say to them, or you just say certain things, but you don't say, hey, you little mouse, you know, do this, do that, go in this cage. There's certain ways of articulating your words better, because whatever you say to them, they say it back to you because they learned it from you. So is there something that when
like Noah yesterday?
Yeah.
Say don't say what?
He said, what did he say?
But you were talking to me on the phone. He says, don't say that.
I was talking to Luwayne on the phone. I don't know what I said. I remember what I said to Luwayne. Then he said, don't say that to me, because he knows it's wrong. I always tell him, you don't say this is wrong, this is wrong. So it shows that there's certain things that as a child that were implemented in all of us. But as you grow, you see them, you like handle them, like, okay, I don't like this feeling, I don't like this is not normal. And people around you sometimes can see it, sometimes can't see it. But you know yourself, this thing is deeply rooted in me. And how do you deal with such stuff that are deeply rooted in you? And when you're around certain people, you have to behave in a certain way. How do you deal with such? Because, yeah.
Honestly, I think as a person from a different background, you would have to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Even in a social circle.
Yeah.
So it would be better for you to set your own boundaries so that people can understand you from a different perspective. Because not everyone is the same.
100%, yeah.
Like, he can sleep on his side, I sleep on my back. Not everyone's the same.
Yeah, I'll have nightmares when I sleep on my back, which is weird. Which is very weird. Okay.
It's no heavy if I sleep on my back.
Hey, I can sleep. So, okay, let me rephrase the question. The question is, what was your experience growing up in your family, and in what ways has this impacted your view of family and parenting today?
Okay, you know, I was speaking for myself. My parents, they had the approach of, you guys can do it on your own. And I think also with the fact that when we grew up, unfortunately, I think our parents, they had working hours that didn't mix very well. So my mother used to work the day shift and my father would work night shift. So in terms of cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, many of the times we had to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we grew up very social.
Yeah.
So myself and my brother, we grew up in a complex. And we were literally always around friends.
Yeah.
So I think growing up, we learned how to interact with people. We learned how to read people more and how to read certain cues.
Yeah.
Because we grew up around so many people, we got to experience people from different backgrounds, different households, and I think that's kind of shaped us how we are today. Like we can speak to anyone.
Yeah.
And we can see where we need to stop talking, and we know what to say, and we need to say it. So in terms of parenting, there was discipline.
Yeah.
When we needed. I remember the one time I did or said something, and my father was going to come and discipline me. And I decided to run away. I was like, no, I'm going to leave the house, I'm running away. While I was running away, my father was standing by the gate. He's like, where are you going to? You're going to come back here, so either you deal with this now, or wait and then you overthink things there where you are, and then come back home and you're still going to get beating. I'm not saying you're not going to get a beating, but I'm saying is you better deal with it now. And I think that kind of taught me in everything in life, like when there's problems, you deal with it. You don't run away from it. Like I know some other guy, when he's faced with conflict, I won't mention his name, but when he's faced with conflict, he decides to run away. And that's kind of weird for me. Like as a guy, like I know that's what we've been taught is like, listen, if there's issue, you fix it. If you can't fix it, you come up with a solution and then fix it. No matter what, regardless of how you're feeling or anything.
Yeah. That's actually a strong point. You want to say something? It's actually a strong point. You know, as I always believe that you should always. There was something that you actually sent me. What? It was regarding. It was about rhinos. So this guy says,
he likes confusing things that he gets sent, you know.
Was it rhinos or what?
Everything is.
Then explain it. What was it about? It wasn't you that sent
me.
Okay, so this guy, he says when there's a storm.
Wait, remind. Oh.
Yes. Oh, now
rhinos,
you know. Buffaloes.
It's about buffaloes.
Yeah. Explain
it's
the thing.
About cows and buffaloes, ne? So a herd of cows, if they see a storm coming, they'll run away from the storm. But what a herd of buffaloes would do, ne? They run into the storm and then pass the storm. So they know, okay, once we pass it, it's done, it's over, it's finished. Now cows, they run and the storm is behind them, and they run and run and run and run and run and run and tire themselves out.
Till the storm catches you while you're tired.
While you're tired, and then the storm hits you. And on the other side, the buffaloes are safe and fine. Because they went through what they needed to go through and got over it.
So yeah, it actually shows you that also in your own personal life, there's things you definitely want to go through. And it's fine. Face them. You have to face them. And
don't be a cow.
And here's a nice here's a nice part. I actually thought about it now. It's buffaloes, right? He didn't say a buffalo.
Buffaloes.
So it's buffalo. So there's certain things that when you're gonna go through it like people, with like as a group. Which I mean, to be quite honest, if you go through things as a group, it's much easier because like that. Let's go through this. But if it's one man, you're like, I mean, as a cow, maybe there was that one cow that's like, let's just go through the storm. Let me follow the buffaloes, but it can't because what? It's surrounded by what? Cows. So, it says something. It says something. So yeah.
And sometimes you need to go through things alone.
Yes, you have to. Right. Oh. Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Sometimes the hurt won't be there.
Yeah, sometimes.
But you know why this here feels right and I need to do it.
100%.
Go for it.
So, recently, you hear, like a lot of times now, you hear, be a man, be a man, be a man. You have to be a man. Nowadays it's like,
the pressure.
It's I would say it's a good thing that you must be reminded that you're a man, right? And from your own perspective, from your own mind, what defines a man, or what is a man?
I would say a man is a provider. But in this generation, anyone can be a provider. But when you're a man, it's bred into you that you need to provide for your family, that you need to protect your family, that you need to be the head of the household. You need to take care of everyone and everything that comes into your house. Even if it's another child from next door that comes into your house. If your family doesn't have enough, you must share it with that person. And you must provide for your family. You need to look after them no matter what happens. If you lose your job, you must get up and go do something every day to bring in that little bread, income, to look after your family.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to cover something. I can hear it coming. Hey, go for it.
No, it's just something I heard. Okay. This guy was talking about the sun and the moon. So now he says when the sun wants to be like the moon, what do you get? An eclipse. And when the moon wants to be like the sun, what do you also get? A solar or lunar eclipse. And then you don't see stars on that night or solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. You don't see the stars. So it's the same like in our household. If the female woman wants to be like a man in the house, who's gonna suffer? The kids. So that's why, like, a man should be a man and a woman should be a woman. That's what I believe we put on this earth in that order. A man was put in first to create order, and then a woman was there to comfort him, pick him up in whatever he decides.
I think also, honestly, guys today are very emotional. And I think there's been that movement that's been encouraging guys to be.
There's too much options for them.
There's been that movement to encouragement to be in touch with their emotions. Now, from what I understand as being a man, we're not saying don't have feelings. What we're saying is, understand that there is those feelings, that it is going to come whether you're sad, happy, whatever it is.
Emotionally intelligent.
But there comes that point where you need to, as a man, you need to put those feelings aside to deal with certain things.
100%,
because I think for myself, like whether I'm angry, happy or sad, I can't hide that expression on my face. But the actions that I still take after that. So it depends. So whether if I'm super mad, like I want to kill someone, and then I say, you know what, that's just feelings. Then I help the person. Let's get through this type of thing. Even though I'm super mad, but as a man, listen, we need to keep our emotions in check.
100%.
If you need to cry, do your thing. But at the end of the day, make sure whatever the situation is that you deal with it. Not make your emotions get control of you, and then deal with things out of emotion and get nothing done, or make the situation worse in some points.
This is actually something to think about, because I remember hearing this one comedian, I forgot his name, but I can hear his voice in my head. It's the messed up part. So he says, don't let your emotions get the best of you, because after they get the best of you, all your actions will come from your emotions. And actions that come from emotions, it's just it's a spiral. It's just like it's bad, man.
And
it's bad.
Women are emotional. Now just imagine two emotional people together. That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
It's basically
both of you are sitting on the floor crying there.
Yes, I know, baby.
I know.
So Yeah, man. Before we take an ad break, I have another question, which says, have people made incorrect assumptions about you or your family in a way that's caused problems?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I'll use an example. I'll use a silly example. I remember years back, I was probably in grade 10 or 11. So, I just used to hang around with people, but I'd literally like read you first, what type of person you are. So I remember I had this one friend, and that friend used to do drugs. Like, okay, let me say he used to smoke certain things, which as an individual, you're always told, don't hang around with this person because he does 1, 2, 3. And then once this one lady saw me hanging around with that guy, and he went to someone higher than me, which is my mother. They're like, yo, I saw your son smoking. Like, wait, no, I was hanging around with him. I was smoking. And it caused what? Problems in the family. Like, no, I told you to stop hanging around with this kid. And then you actually realize he wasn't a bad kid. He's not a bad guy. It's just a habit, you see. But yeah, have you ever came across such things, such drama? Or were you that kid?
Yeah, I would say I was that kid. I was naughty when I was a kid. Every chance I got,
you took it.
I'm just going.
Okay. Have you been? Let's go into another question. What spiritual or religious beliefs are important to you and your family, and how do they impact your day-to-day life? Yeah. Hey guys. Okay. So since you're still thinking about your ones, so I'll start off with my one. So my mom used to always be like, Manuel, on the 31st of December, leave all these things of going to parties out the door. I was always at church, till grade 12. This one year in grade 12, I was like, nah, this year I'm not going to church. This year I want to be out somewhere, I don't know where, because you just hear these stories like, oh my god, so this is how it is. You hear maybe one of your friends saying, yeah, this is what we did, went out, we had fun. And then as I went to a certain place, and when you got there, it felt weird, it felt unusual, it felt like this is not right, because you're used to being maybe at church on the 31st. And then that's till today, I'm still like, I actually think being at church at the 31st every single year is very important, because you're going into a new year. You don't want to go into a new year in the streets. You want to go into a new year at a place where, to say, you'll be lacquer. So man, what spiritual or religious beliefs are important to you and your family, and how do they impact your day-to-day life? It can be praying, it can be reading.
So we grew up Christian, right?
Yeah.
From a young age, we were always in the church, part of the church. Whatever church we went to, we were trying to be as much in that church as possible.
Yeah.
Involved in the church, yes.
Yeah.
So what we would do is, every Sunday we up early.
Yeah.
Every Sunday religiously we go into church. We're going to listen to the word. We're going to maybe the Sunday school, because we were young. We're going to go after Sunday school. Maybe the church starts after Sunday school. Some churches were like that.
Yeah.
And then what would happen is they would distill this in us.
Yeah.
That when you grow up, you must be part of the church. Maybe be an usher.
100%.
Maybe join the band. Maybe go teach the kids.
Yeah.
The little kids. So I found a passion for teaching little children. So I was part of the Sunday school at one of the churches I was at. So what that taught me was, even little children want to learn.
Yes.
Even if some of them, they didn't come with their parents, they came with a friend, but they would be so interested in what you have to say that it's distilled with them and it's left with them until they grow up. And then those children, even though they weren't very religious or they didn't come to church with their parents, they would want to come to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And then when they grow up, they want to come to you. And then when they get even bigger, they want to join the church because of you. And something like that is nice to hear, because the child will come up to you and say, because of you,
I did this.
I'm like this. I'm doing this. I want to be part of the church. I want to know Jesus or God more.
Yeah, that's actually true, because when you were younger and if you maybe loved, because I used to love drums, and there was this one guy, I'm like, oh, this guy can drum, and I see him playing there, and I was like, I want to play drums now because of him. So yeah, you're actually right. And do you have anything that you think, yeah, it affects your life every single day? It's a certain belief that you have.
Well, I believe in that God made Adam and Eve.
Okay.
To what do they call those things?
It's fine.
It's fine.
So, okay. I feel like that question is kind of tricky, because maybe it needs you to get into a certain space, or maybe it needs you to be in an uncomfortable situation in order for you to actually realize what certain beliefs that you allow yourself to go through. Or so my next question is, does your culture have a perspective on receiving counseling or mental therapy?
You're asking the wrong people about culture.
Yeah.
Answers we must colored. You see?
No, man. I'm talking.
Our culture is Cavelas.
Yeah. Entregas.
No, man. So when I'm saying,
no, I know. I get what you're saying, bro. Like, no, honestly, like, as men, the idea of receiving therapy or help, it's a foreign concept, eh? You deal with your own issues, or to your extent you talk to the bras. And in fact, sometimes even talking to the bras is not even talking about the situation, it's just chilling, and just a distraction, or like going for paintball or going for a drive and stuff like that. So the idea of going for therapy, that thing, we don't have that.
Like with me growing up black, I'm serious. Like mental health was a thing for white people.
Yeah.
It's a white people sickness.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. Like, we grew up saying that, listen, like most mental issues, that's a white person's thing. Like, honestly, that's how we grew up saying things like OCD and stuff like that. That's a white person's thing. Like, you see, like, the thing with OCD is, like, you have to do in your mind, there's certain things have to be done in a certain way. If it doesn't happen like that in your mind and in reality, then you have to do that whole thing again. Like, if you're walking down a flight of stairs, sometimes you have to walk back up that flight of stairs to do it again. But if you go to a village, you won't see that. If someone forgot, I need to go down to the river to get water. I says, oh no, I missed a step. Let me walk back to the village again and then start again. No, you won't find that.
Do you,
Can I say one thing first?
Go for it.
I was watching this video like this morning. I've been up from 4, so around 6 or something like that. I checked this video of this guy in a village now, like where it's all back to basics. He asked that guy, he says, what do you all say about lesbians, or like not lesbians, transgender people? Then he's like, what is transgender? It made me laugh because everybody in the village started laughing. All of the guys are like, "Hi, bro, what's this now?" No, it says like a man that wants to be a woman. They said, there's nothing like
that. So here's another thing. Do you all think that the main reason why a lot of people would say they're depressed, sad, or going through a lot is because of lack of fulfillment? So from how I think about these things is that in order for a person or a human being, because we are social beings anyways, in order for you to be able to think through certain things, is that you must set yourself short-term goals. Can be anything. Goals don't have to be a vehicle, a house. They can be anything, right? So if you set yourself these short-term goals now and then, like every time you're busy fulfilling this, don't you think it makes you kinda, because some people, okay, I'll use myself as an example. I find fulfillment in the little things. For example, if I say tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up for gym, and I wake up and I do it, I feel fulfilled throughout the day because I woke up and I did 1, 2, 3, right? And do you think? Oh, where does your fulfillment come from? Actually, that was my question. Where does your fulfillment come from?
Oh, there was so much to that question. So the first person will be the question.
Can I say something before we get into the question?
Yeah.
Back onto mental health. Ne? So as a man,
yeah,
we're speaking as men, ne? As a man, ne? Back in, like, as a man, you're a provider, okay? So now let's go back a couple of years before we were even born. Jobs and making money were mostly for men.
Yeah,
was mostly a mainly thing. So men were in the workspace, and women weren't so much. There was a lot of jobs available for men. Now these days, you get a lot of females in
corporate places,
and stuff like it. So, like, being a man, you want to provide and stuff like it, but not being able to get a job because of the scarcity of it. It breaks you down.
It does, actually, it does.
Because you're like, ish, every day you wake up, you try, you push, go, get a job. There's not a lot of jobs available. So now I think that's why so many men these days,
because they can't provide. So now mentally you feel like, I can't provide.
I can't do this.
Going through 1, 2, and 3.
And then that's why we come to that.
Yeah.
Eclipse again.
You know, honestly, like majority of the people who claim that I know, who claim to be depressed, most of them are lazy. Like, honestly speaking, they're lazy. Like I know that there's a story of this one guy who literally he couldn't get a job, so he took a taxi to Fontaine, or Ravonia side, and he literally went to every business with his CV. Walked in the door, say, "Hey, here's my CV. Can I speak to the boss now?" That type of thing. Then you get other guys, they're sitting there in the car, they're sitting by the house shops, and they're busy smoking. They're like, "Hey, bro, I can't get a job." But are you trying?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Shawan pushed me to do that. I walked my feet sore that day. And you know the thing is, like, every company I walked into, they all said, "No, you have to submit online," because now they're doing an online thing.
Yeah.
So every single company I walked into, "No, you have to submit it online." I said, "No, here's my CV." Give it to someone in HR. But in that year of walking around like that, I got a job. Before the year ended, in that year, I got a job.
I also think in terms of dealing with issues such as depression, I think that thing of just sitting around, it doesn't really help at all.
Yeah.
Like, you need to go out and do something. And like, I know for me, for many years, dancing was my thing. Going to like shows and stuff like that, performing in places and stuff like that. That used to be my thing, instead of just sitting at home and doing nothing and just sitting. You know, there's a saying that they say, an idle mind is a devil's playground. And I think if you are going through certain things.
So yeah, sorry about that. We just had technical issues. So anyways, we have a question here. So before we go to the question, they say for mental health we use Vicks Vapor every time.
You must use Vicks Vapor
So
in a wheelbarrow.
So here's a question. They say, what about single moms?
Yeah, Louis.
What about single moms?
Use the Vicks.
No. What about single moms? I was just talking about why a lot of men have these mental health issues now. It's because of that.
So
I'm not saying women shouldn't work now. I'm not working. I'm saying that.
Okay. Okay. But I still go back to the fact that it comes with fulfillment. It comes with fulfillment. I mean, here's a little example. You know, we in living, like, usually as you live, as you go through life and stuff, you realize. I'll use a silly example. We all want vehicles. We all want houses in the future. That's what fulfillment. Like, you'd feel fulfilled if you know, I own a house, I own a car. But I do definitely believe there are some people that don't find fulfillment in such things. For them, it's just like, it's material. It's like, okay, this is just something that I obtained for myself, which is just, I just need to live, to survive. That's it.
Like that guy, what's his name? Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He's richest man in the world, ne?
Doesn't own a house.
He doesn't own a house. He doesn't
find
get excited.
So,
I did.
For him, he finds fulfillment in creating things, in inventing new things. So I feel like each and every single individual, as soon as you find something that fulfills you,
you're always chasing that dream.
You see
that fulfillment.
Yeah. So those little steps that you take, to whatever it is that you're seeking, looking for, they fulfill you at the end of the day. Can be taking a jog early in the morning. Then when you get to work, you're like, whoo, I feel nice, I feel fresh. It's because you took that jog.
Old ladies.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I think I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Those few people who I really don't care about things. Like cars, house, money. I really don't care about that. If I have it, okay, sharp.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna chase that.
100%.
Like, honestly speaking, I haven't been chasing that, and I think you can see with the where I work.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, my fulfillment is helping people. Whether it be in terms of spiritual guidance, or in terms of helping someone who may have been hijacked, or helping someone who was in a car accident.
Yeah.
To say that, listen, the reason I'm alive today is because of you guys, or because there's so many people. I think after church, this one lady came to me and said, "Oh, you guys are doing such an amazing job, and thank you so much for helping us out." And I'm just like, wait, who are you again? She's like, "Yeah, no, that day you came there to my house, you really helped me out." And I was like, no problem.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of what was happening. What did I do that day that I helped this person out? But so it actually made me feel good. Like hearing someone saying, "Listen, you really helped me out. Like whatever you guys are doing, you truly God sent." So that's where I find my fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's never been about cars or money or women.
Yeah. There's different ways to find fulfillment. There's different ways. And you, Cody, what would you say is something that would make you feel like when you get home and you're sitting on your couch, you're like, it'll make you take this, like when you sit, just like, you just like, what's that one thing? Or let's go with
kissing his girlfriend.
Vicks Vapor Wap.
That's where you find fulfillment.
Yeah.
And
when you
charger.
put it on your chest, then you say,
and you charger.
It's that feeling of I've accomplished something in the day, something meaningful.
Yeah.
Maybe I went to work and I did more than I supposed to. Or maybe I helped somebody out that needed the help.
Yeah.
I made somebody smile. If I can make somebody smile in a day, I'm happy for that day. As long as I made your day nice, my day's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to you, Cody. Do you think about it? So you don't think there's that one thing?
Cody just wants to tickle people's ears.
And drink switch.
Then it's fulfilled.
Okay, sweet. So before we close today's show, is there anything that you would like to say to people that are listening? Is there anything that you would like to share out there?
1, 2, 3. Don't be a cow.
That's it.
Don't be a cow.
Don't be a cow.
If you're a man, don't be a cow.
If you're a man, don't be a cow.
Don't run away from problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal with it straight on.
Deal with it. Deal with those things.
Be a man, ruin your own day.
Yeah.
Caitlin says, thank you for helping us out yesterday, Jared.
And if you are a cow, just go hang out around with the buffaloes. And that was Stories with Manny on Nirvana World FM.